Hello there, this is Multiplier, and this is my serious stance, where I talk about things seriously. Anyway, this video is all about how to get really good. And I've been rereading this book from Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. You may have heard of it, you should have heard of it, it's a really important book. And it's basically all about how the best people in the world in their given industry become the best in the world. And there's kind of two main ideas behind it. The first is kind of luck and opportunity. So no matter who you kind of pick as being one of the greatest people ever, whether it's kind of Bill Gates or I don't know, the best chess player in the world or whatever, there'll always be a bunch of kind of lucky opportunities that were really specific to them that kind of allowed them to get really good. But I found the more interesting side of things was the idea that basically no matter what industry you're in, if you want to get to a world-class level, like an absolute, like really good basically, you've got to put in around 10,000 hours, broadly speaking. And what was kind of the really interesting thing about it is it didn't matter necessarily how good you are kind of naturally or even necessarily how much opportunity you had. If you'd put in at least 10,000-ish hours of mindful practice, so kind of doing that particular thing with the intent to get good at it, then you would get, broadly speaking, world-class good at it. And there's been a lot of research behind it, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, pretty much everyone who is world-class has put in 10,000 hours. And I thought that was really interesting because it kind of puts things in perspective. So let's say you've been producing a year or 4 or 5 months. There's no way you will have clocked up 3,000 or 4,000 hours even, let alone 10,000. So you really have to kind of put things in perspective when you compare your tracks to, say, like a knife party track or a, I don't know, chasing status track or whatever kind of big act you're thinking of that's been in the industry for 15 years, they would have clocked up their 10,000 hours. So you really can't compare your stuff to it. No matter how hard you try, no matter how good you are, no matter all the best intentions in the world, chances are if you send me a dubstep track, I'm more likely to play a knife party track simply because Rob Swire, who makes the tracks, has kind of clocked up those 10,000 hours. He is the best in the world at it. And yeah, you pretty much have to put in the work. So I'm not really sure what my point was. It's just mainly just kind of put things in perspective. I mean, yes, we don't all necessarily want to get to world-class level. You just want to get better at making tracks. But you really just have to kind of understand how long it takes to get to that level. And it's nice to put a number behind it. So let's do some calculations. So let's say you've been producing, I don't know, 5 years, so that's what, 5 times 365 days. So 5 years, let's say 1,800 days. Let's say you average 2 hours a day, which is way more than, I don't know, most people can average. We're talking about an average over every day for 5 years. That's probably a bit much. Let's times that by 1.5 hours. So times 1.5, and you've only reached 2,000. So if you've been producing 5 years, on average, an hour and a half every single day without fail. So on those days you're not producing, you're producing more than an hour and a half. You've still only clocked up 2,700 hours. So maybe that'll give you some idea in terms of how long it takes to get really good. And there is no shortcut. If you look at the best mixers in the world, guys like Dave Pensado or those big guys that mix the biggest pop acts in the world, they are so good at it because they've been doing it so long. They mix 8 hours every day as a job, and they've been doing it for 15, 20 years. That's how you get really good. Let's do another calculation. So let's say you've been producing 10 years, which is bonkers, right? 10 years and at like an hour a day. So that's 10 times 365. That's still only 3,000 hours. So even if you average an hour every day, which if you're working like a full-time job, like most of you probably are, that's probably quite difficult to squeeze in literally an hour of production every single day. That's still only 3,000. Let's say you're pretty good and you can do like 2.5 hours practice every day over 10 years. It's a long time. 10 years, that's 10 times 365 times 2.5. That's nearly 10,000. So if you've been producing 10 years, on average 2.5 hours every single day with the intent to get good. So we're not talking about just completely fucking around. Although I guess we kind of are, provided you're kind of doing things critically and kind of trying hard. So you do 2.5 hours a day for 10 years and you'll nearly be really good. You'll probably be very good, but you'll nearly be really good. And hopefully that puts things in perspective. I don't mean to discourage you, it's just to kind of hopefully instill some sort of work ethic, because it's something that I kind of work hard at, and I've been kind of rebalancing things, so I'm making sure I'm still putting in those hours. But yeah, you really got to get those hours in and really just develop that ear. So like, this is why it's kind of quite hard to, if you look at, say, I don't know, Rob Swy, for example, who makes Pendulum, Knife Party, when he's in the studio working on ideas and he talks about, say, multiband compression to like suppress certain frequencies, it's all well and good him telling you that he may, I don't know, dip out, I don't know, compress, say, the 300 hertz sort of region on the synth so the drums kind of fit in a bit. But unless you've been doing it as long as he is, you're not going to have the ear to know exactly how to do that in the right way. So you really just have to get those hours in. So that's my advice. Do it for 10 years and 10,000 hours. And then you'll be very, very, very good. Maybe even really, really, really good.